Welcome to Phil Phails. My name is Philip Jones, and today my guest is Hollie Meador. She is a co-owner of Studio Satya, a yoga teacher to kids and families mostly, but also to adults. She's an astrologer and a naturalist. Wave at everybody, Hollie.
Hi.
They live in all these cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah. They're tiny?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are tiny. I mean, you're huge wherever you are, but in the cameras,
Tiny.
to fit in there, all of them.
How could they
How
otherwise?
could they? Yeah. Today, Phil Phails at cycles.
Mm-hmm.
Cycles of life, cycles of death, cycles of growth, cycles of...
Everything. Anything and everything. The breath.
Cycles of breath. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to talk about.
That's it.
Heck yeah. Just a little topic.
Just a small topic.
We're going to knock cycles out for you guys.
That's right. That's right.
The last thing you'll need to hear about it.
Or maybe the first.
Maybe the first.
I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, so cycles. What is the cycle?
What is a cycle?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's a good question. I guess something that has, I don't know, a beginning, a middle, an end, a back to the beginning.
Right. Stories have cycles. Yeah, like a book has there's like a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Mm-hmm. But ever like a true end? I don't know.
Ever a true end? It's kind of like, does art ever have an end?
Right.
Like we decide to say, I'm presenting this now as art, but you could do it forever.
You could keep going.
A song, a painting.
Right.
It's kind of an arbitrary time that we say, oh, now I'll let this static image.
I'll show it to you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stop messing with it.
Exactly. That's basically all the painting is.
Yeah.
I stopped messing with it.
Yeah. I took my attention somewhere else to mess around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for a painting, it'd be like there was an empty canvas, and then there was some birthing, and then there was
some labor, some
and
like
stop messing
production,
around.
and then stop messing around. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then other people's experience with the art begins.
Yeah.
A whole new cycle.
Yes. And they might give some feedback, and that influences the artist or certainly the culture.
Yeah. Ooh. Amazing.
That's a big topic.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything has a cycle. You think that's a true statement?
That's interesting. I think so.
What could not have a cycle? I mean, this is a play. I don't know the answer to this.
Right. I don't know the answer
what could not
immediately
have a, so
either.
let's take a pen.
Yeah.
This pen was oil in the ground.
I mean, it was so many different things.
Yeah.
Right? And like the life it had to take, all
it was
the
like
resources.
In something stretched, probably smashed.
Yeah. Produced.
Formed, packaged.
Yes.
It's
hauled.
here. It will empty itself of ink.
And then what will you do?
I'll probably recycle it.
You could turn it into art.
I could turn it into art and then stop messing with it.
Yeah.
So this has a cycle. What doesn't have a cycle?
I, off the top of my head, cannot think of anything.
Stars have cycles.
Yeah. Water?
Water could be... Well, yeah, there's the whole...
I mean, it had
There's the whole... what's that cycle where the water rains down and then it evaporates into the sky and it's a precipitation? Precipitation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cycle.
It has a cycle. But did it ever have like an ultimate beginning and an ultimate?
This
like,
is the chicken,
right? This is the
chicken or egg story.
No, absolutely it is.
Which one came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
I think...
Ooh.
I don't know if I can plant a flag in this one.
I know.
I think
it's a tough one.
The chicken came first.
Where did he come from? Where did she come from?
Where did Shiva come from? It's like one of the first Buddhists, like one of the first yogis, right?
Yeah.
One of the first ones. Where did she come from? She would have had to be a she because she had the egg.
Yeah, chicken.
Rooster. Not rooster.
Mm-mm.
Hen. I don't know of anything that doesn't have a cycle.
Right. I can't think of anything. We don't always, I guess, in this human mind, I can't fathom what doesn't have a beginning.
Well, it doesn't have a, there's, in the cycle, there is no beginning.
Right. Like I can't fathom what that beginning actually is, but it's been going.
Yeah. The Big Bang.
Yeah.
If you believe in the Big Bang
I don't
theory.
know. Right.
But there had to be something before the Big Bang.
Sky Woman.
What is Sky Woman?
This is a story from Braiding Sweetgrass. Are you familiar with that book? It's a beautiful book. You should read it or listen to the audiobook.
Okay.
Or both. It's by a woman named Robin Wall Kimmerer, and she is she's Native American and a botanist and a poet. So she has this really beautiful way of weaving together like science and poetry and stories and indigenous ideas into sort of Western, like what we've made of things. But the very beginning of the book, she talks about the myth of Sky Woman, where and it sort of speaks to the beginning of the world. But even within this, I can break it down for you real quick. Sky Woman, like the sky world opens and Sky Woman falls, and as she's falling, she grabs from the tree of life and holds on to something, but she's falling, and somehow there are animals already down in the water world. And geese come up and catch her and lower her down, but they're getting tired and they can't hold her forever, and all the animals are trying to figure out a way for her to stand. And Turtle comes and starts to hold her. And then the animals talk about how to find mud, how to find like dirt or something. And the muskrat eventually makes it down to the bottom and finds mud, and they spread it over Turtle's back. And then she opens her hand and it's all these seeds. And so that's where the grass comes from. And that's where sweetgrass, I think, was the first thing to grow. And it's said to be the hair of Mother Earth. And also comes to the story of Turtle Island. And that's sort of like North America, like the mythology of how that cycle of land started.
From Sky Lady.
Yeah,
Sky Woman.
Sky Woman.
Sky Woman.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I tried to condense that story from memory. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So the idea of that's how land started.
Goodness. 5 questions about cycles. Okay, so I guess the first question is, that's a difficult one. What kind of questions do we have about cycles? I think it's like, how do we... Man, sometimes it's hard to even know we're in a cycle. How do we be with cycle?
How do we be with cycle?
That's a weird question, but...
No, I think that's good. I think, well, okay, we have like all these opportunities to be within a cycle, right? We can always like pause and take a breath. And that's like, that can reset.
That's a cycle.
That's a cycle that we have control over. We can start it and stop it. We can make it longer. We can make it shorter. But that's one way, I think, to get really present and like be able to access a cycle like immediately.
Yeah.
We have the cycle of the day. We have every morning we wake up, every night we go to bed. We can have our plans for the day and then how the day actually goes.
Yeah.
And, then we have cycles of the things we do in a day or in a week. We might have our steady rhythm where we might go to a yoga class every day at 9. We might go, so sitting down on a mat and beginning class, I think there's, some like reverence for starting a cycle. At that moment, the cycle of a class, the cycle, maybe that's the only class you go to every week. And that's like you're, kicking off your week, or however you want to look at it, wherever it's like placed within the cycle of your week. And then we have like larger cycles of the moon that we can pay attention to, cycles of, we have our birthdays that mark, we can like look back and reflect on definitely this date a year ago.
I just thought of like a complex clock.
It's a very complex clock,
because it is a bunch of cycles everywhere around us.
Cycles within cycles.
That influence us and influence each other.
Yep. Yep.
And there's some conflict or tension in some of them too. I just thought of like, I don't want to die. I'm
Yeah.
going to die.
Right.
1000%.
Yes.
I don't want to
I get it.
because I want to keep having this experience.
Totally.
And I have to, being with that death, experience, having a death meditation can invigorate my living.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It could also, freeze or like paralyze my living.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I get that. And I think that's part of the like free will of how you, I don't know, work through that struggle,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My younger son, he just had a birthday. He just turned 11. And he loves being with friends. Like it's his most favorite thing in the whole wide world is just playing endlessly. And he had a birthday party, had a sleepover. And then when everyone left, he like grieved the end of it,
Aw, yeah.
I know. And he does almost any time like there's a sleepover, not just birthdays, but it's any time that there's that like extended close connection with friends. He like has a little grieving process that he goes through. So what you were just saying reminded me of that, and that we kind of have these like tiny deaths sort of all the time of like, I think of it sometimes could be in the middle of a really good conversation. It's like, I don't want this to end.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't want this experience to end. And we can't like cling too hard to it.
That's
We
that
can't
grasping.
grasp. It is. And we have to just like move on to, like release, move on, trust that we can maybe have a similar experience in the future.
Oh, I just thought of, we have this union here that will die.
Yeah.
And we'll leave and I'll start tidying up the room and I'll feel a sting.
Totally. Yeah.
When we find connection and closeness and comfort or love, there's maybe a fear that I won't ever find it again.
Yeah.
Like that when you leave, when that access, that love leaves, I'm then that Neanderthal seeking fire.
Yeah.
And not knowing how to make it on my own. But needing to find it out in the world. And it being a scarce resource.
Like real authentic connection.
Yeah. So that's maybe what your son's feeling like. This is intimate. This is nourishing.
Yeah.
And when it leaves, there'll be a vacuum there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have to. But that's part of the cycle. Like we need, just like pranayama. I'm just gonna say things. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. You're the specialist here. But like we breathe in. There's some space there where we're full. We breathe out. And there's some space there when we're empty. And we need all those parts.
We do. We need all the parts of it. And we can elongate those places where we're full, right? I think that's one part of like the pranayama practice is that actual like that retention of the breath in or out, where we're actually fully experiencing, not the action of filling up or the action of releasing, but that like there are actually like 4 parts of the breath where we can suspend that space where we're full and experience that maybe for a little longer and then release it and really experience fully what it is to be empty. Yeah. And that's almost like the breath as we normally experience it is just like the journey and not the destination so much of like the filling up and the release. But man, there is something sweet about lingering and spending time there. It's like that real, maybe the more that we practice that, the more we're able to be present with the present moment. Like if we're really enjoying it, maybe if we aren't even, what is it like to really sit with an experience even when you're not enjoying it and then be able to
well, the not enjoying it allows you to appreciate
the emptiness of it. And yeah, exactly. So they both kind of have this like, I don't know, really special space that without practicing like mindfulness of the breath, maybe you don't get to experience as often. I don't know.
Yeah. Workout. Sometimes I talk about bouldering. Well, in yoga, we do these poses and we breathe and we move and we kind of stress our body in some ways. We bend and we hold and we contract.
Sure.
All of that impacts how blissful Shavasana can feel.
Yes.
This sweet release. And sometimes I think of bouldering. I boulder and I put chalk on my hands. All of it makes that sweet release of when I wash my hands at the end so beautiful. I wash all that off and I'm like, this is just the best experience. And there's this just relationship between hard work and some, I don't know, some rest.
Yeah.
You talk about the importance of rest.
Definitely. Yeah, that practice of Shavasana, which is corpse pose, which is
Death pose.
Right. Practicing being still and really releasing and surrendering. And then right at the end of class, it's like really sweet. Like maybe when, I guess in like I would hope that death comes as a sweet release, you know? Like, may we all be so lucky.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't always come that way, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's like what one hopes for.
I'm drawn to
practice.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we can
go
practice
ahead.
sweet release.
Yeah.
I'm drawn when I think about the breath, we were talking about it. I started thinking about our culture through the lens of some of the practices that I have now of fasting, of like spending some time, much like the breath, in a state of emptiness and the processes that go on. And then I think, well, our culture really doesn't do that. We just fill ourselves up all the time. Consume.
In all these different ways. Food,
not
drinks,
just food, but
visual, sound.
Yeah, materials, like
doing.
There's a balance here that needs to be realized, I think, for the human.
I think so too. I think we keep I think people are actually a lot of times like aching for that emptiness, but we keep filling it up for fear of like the whatever it is that's on the other side.
So many things,
right?
Emotional, distraction, soothing. Like we've coupled, at least with food, probably with breath.
Yeah, I mean, with so many things, just consuming, ordering.
Think about that flower. We celebrate the blossom.
Yeah.
That's like the food. We celebrate that delicious food right there, right? How do we celebrate all parts of that cycle?
Right. It has to be really intentional. I think there has to, like, I've done a few fasts. The longest I've done is 72 hours, right around there.
Water fast?
Yeah. Water? Yeah, water fast.
Yeah. There's dry fast. You don't have water either, but
no, that's
tough.
I could do that maybe for a little bit.
I've done juice fast for 14 days.
Okay. I've done something similar for a little while.
I've been playing around with water fast, and I think I've done 48 hours, but haven't gone to 72 yet.
Okay.
I think I will. I'm working up to it.
Yeah. It's pretty, like once you, I don't know, there is like a hump to get through, and then it like feels pretty easy. And then, that whole process of reintroducing is really interesting. But, I think it's so valuable to spend time without, to actually have that full cycle of like, then when you're receiving again, it feels actually nourishing.
Yeah.
Rather than just habitual or whatever. I don't know. Just habitual, where I do feel like we just get in the habit of like, okay, it's this time of day, I always eat or like I have to have my coffee at, whatever it is, like, maybe you don't. Maybe it's okay to go a little slower. Maybe it's okay to feel hungry for even an hour.
Let my body dictate food.
Yes. Yeah.
Let my body give me a signal of, oh, okay, we need this.
Yeah. But I think that helps like complete a cycle also, you know, because I don't think we're meant to just have everything at our fingertips. I think there's there's something a little too convenient where even though we're maybe already full and we keep consuming whatever it is, it's in an effort to fill something up that really has to be emptied first, if that makes sense. And like the lack of like closing that loop, like there's something that's not satisfying to the soul, I think, that that we keep trying to find a way to fill.
We're seeking,
We're seeking, and we're often finding all of these like fruitless things that don't make us actually feel good.
They're not satiating.
They're not satiating at all. And I think a lot of times people are so used to not feeling good, like they don't even notice. It takes breaking that cycle of just kind of mindless filling up.
Yeah.
That that once you break it and you start to make different choices and introduce some fresh cycles in that maybe include those spaces of emptiness, which is more naturally how it's supposed to be, then, you know, I think things become a little more satisfying, maybe.
Yeah. And you love, well, you've heard that saying, or you may or may not have. What is the best ingredient for a meal?
Love.
Well, yeah, that's a good one too. Dang. Okay, what's the second best ingredient for a meal? Love.
Company?
No, hunger. Hunger.
Holly. Looking for hunger.
I'm looking for hunger. You're like,
no, that's so true though.
When
Are
you're
you
hungry,
actually hungry?
I've watched people do them like the shows like Alone and these shows where people are out in nature by themselves.
Yeah.
I've seen them eat some pretty disgusting stuff and they've been like, this stuff is so good. And I'm like, really, dude?
Hunger. You're right.
Hunger. People drinking their own urine out there, Holly.
Yeah.
Like it's a fine wine.
I mean,
maybe not that far, but I'm just saying.
I missed that episode.
Yeah. Maybe that's a different show, but
no. I appreciate it.
I don't know that someone's done that. How can we love emptiness, love the decaying of the rose, love these parts that seem like we need to rush through them just to get to the next pretty part of the cycle? How do we love that too?
I mean, doing yoga. I think it does help. I am trying to remember the exact quote. I don't know if it is. I think there's a quote somewhere, and I don't know if it's someone I knew personally who used to say it all the time or if it's from something, but it was, and I'm not good at quoting, so, but it was along the lines of like, the more you're practicing yoga, like the more you're going to become aware of how different things are affecting your body. And you're going to want to start craving different things. Like you're going to notice you can't eat, right before you're doing a ton of forward fold. You're going to notice like what you eat is affecting how you feel during your practice. And you're going to notice then like what things feel good or don't, like regardless of if you're practicing or not. You're going to start making different choices. And, you're probably going to start like sleeping differently and being more mindful. It depends also on like, it depends. It depends on a million different things,
right.
But I want to say like the way that we approach yoga at our studio, it is sort of not just what are you doing on the mat, and we're not just here to like look good in our yoga clothes or whatever, or whatever it is. It's not just about the physical practice. It's about all of these other aspects of the human existence that are incorporated in the practice of yoga. And I think the more you start to become aware of and are intentional in incorporating all these other aspects, I think changes just start to happen naturally. And it's like you start to change one thing and you might notice like how you feel better. And then that leads to changing something else,
Yeah. Some kind of natural change, it's not authoritarian. It's not discipline.
This is
It's
the
really
way.
like, I just feel better when I do this. So I'm going to do that because I feel better when I do it.
Yeah.
And then so you slowly, like a plant moving towards sunlight.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a bonsai.
Right.
Where you're putting wire in there. It's really just like I'm moving towards the light. And light is some sort of health or wellness or comfort.
Yes. And equally, like when you're tending to a plant, like noticing, oh, when I water it with, the remnants of my tea, it doesn't do so well. Oh, it wants just water, and making those changes. Like I think we notice the same things we're nurturing in ourselves, hopefully, right? But it's, again, sometimes it takes breaking that cycle. I think sometimes we can get so used to not feeling good that we don't even realize, and we're just doing the thing that might, hit the dopamine in our brain or, whatever it is, then that will keep you locked into a certain cycle. And you have to be, breaking those kinds of, you have to be really intentional and really motivated.
Our brain is so powerful. It can make any cycle good, even if it's maladaptive.
Yep.
I've been stuck in my life in cycles of you call them addiction or distraction. We can call them maladaptive coping strategies or whatever we want to call them. Where my brain was like fully on board with them being great for me.
Yep.
And that I'd need them. I would say like, oh, this is how I medicate my ADHD or all.
Sure. I get
my
it.
mental gymnastics are like, I'm like Olympic level
10
gymnast. Yeah.
Give it a 10. Yeah.
Give it a 10. Like 5 judges, 10 out of 10. This guy, he wins debates on that stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's this like, how do I step back out of my own bullshit field and really look with awareness? I think what you're speaking to is it starts with awareness, which so many people do.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah. What's going on in my body as a result of these?
Yeah. Sometimes it starts with the body, the body will start to, I think it starts to whisper.
Yeah.
Little things.
And then maybe it starts yelling.
And then it starts yelling, and then it might just stop you in your tracks.
Yeah.
Right. But each step along the way, it's like we have the choice of bringing our awareness to the reality, the full reality. But again, like that's our free will of choosing, do I actually look at what's being illuminated, what's being shown to me, and then am I actually willing to like make changes, and navigate those places.
Like holistic too. Like your communities probably gives you whispers.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Like relationship.
There's like nonverbal communication. Yeah, all that stuff is like, what's my health like? It's so complex.
It is complex.
I wish it was simpler, Hollie.
I know. I wish there were a manual, but there's not really.
Yeah.
There's, I think once you get into a lot of philosophy across cultures, I think there are common threads that loop them all together. And I don't know that you have to be an expert in any single one or in all of them necessarily. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think you have to be an expert in all of them, but finding some things that are meaningful, that can kind of guide your path.
Yeah.
Especially initially. I think, and I'm just thinking back on my own kind of journey to yoga. And it was very much like that of just like, oh, this is interesting. And it kind of, I don't know, just illuminated a path. It didn't quite open up. So in college, I found that I had some elective courses and I was like, ooh, I can take literally anything I want. That's amazing. Because I'd always kind of like just stuck to the plan and been very regimented.
Yeah.
And some things kind of opened up. So I took Hinduism as just like what's like the farthest away thing
Yeah.
that I can study. And I really loved the class, and mostly I loved the instructor. She spent her summers in India, and her lectures were just telling stories, and her just remember. She would just stare at the back wall and just remember and show like slideshows of her time there, and like it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But then she taught a Buddhism class the next semester, and I liked her so much. I took that class. And at the same time, I hadn't really gone to church previously. But my boyfriend, his dad was a Methodist minister. And so I started going to church, and it was the first place I heard God is love. And I'd grown up like going to Catholic church a little bit, hadn't really heard that there. But I was hearing it in this Buddhism class as well. And there was actually an associate pastor there who was he was in seminary, I think, and he was writing a paper on the Four Noble Truths and something else in the Methodist Church. I forget at this moment, but how they like
The
overlapped with
Eightfold
each other.
Path, maybe?
Well, no, not in Methodism.
Okay, he was relating the Four Noble Truths to some Methodist ideology.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And it was just fascinating. He gave me his paper, and like I got to read it.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, it was really cool. And anyways, that sort of, then I had one more semester, and I took the philosophy of yoga as my last semester.
Was it
at
Ashtanga?
UT.
Is that?
Well, Ashtanga is a branch of a physical practice of yoga. So my understanding of sort of the evolution of different styles of yoga is, let me think back. Krishnamacharya was a yogi in India, and in India, sometimes people will go to a yoga practitioner almost as like a doctor of like, I have this ailment, what can I do?
And they're like downward facing dog.
Totally.
You'll be good.
Totally. It's like that.
Or breath. They talk about breath work curing stuff too.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So this one family came with their little boy. Not little boy. He was like 13, but kind of sickly and like not really strong. And they're like, what? He needs something. He needs to move his body. What can he do? And so his prescription was this very defined, like place this foot here. I can't think of the word I want to use, but very specific in the placement of the body, and it like healed him. And this actually, this was Iyengar, and he's sort of like the grandfather of Hatha yoga as we practice it. It's the very specific, again, placement of the body, the like. Holding postures.
Alignment
Based. Thank you.
Is that the word you were looking for?
That is the word I was looking for.
Nailed it.
Very alignment based. Yes. And then this other family came to Krishnamacharya and had this very hyperactive 13-year-old boy. And I don't actually know if they were 13 at the time. I just imagine them as yeah, making that up. But came with this teenage boy, hyperactive, just like, please help us.
Bouncing off the walls,
yes.
yeah.
What can we do? And so he prescribed for him this 90-minute long, same practice every time. And there are different series. There's 6 days on, you get 1 day of rest. So it's a different series, A, B, C, D, E. I didn't count that.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. F. I think there are that many series, and it's 90 minutes long. It becomes a moving meditation once you learn it, but it's very physically active and very rigorous. And of course, like channels all the energy. And again, it gives the mind something to do. It gives the body something to do.
A release.
It's just, full release, full body exercise. And that became Ashtanga yoga. That was Pattabhi Jois. And
Pattabhi Jois.
And he kind of brought that style over to America. And a lot of people love it.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking of Ashtanga as the 8-limbed path, though. Because Ashtanga means 8 limbs.
It does.
So there's the physical movement part of it, but there's also those 8 yama, niyama.
Well, yes.
Was that from
I don't
Patanjali?
know. Does Ashtanga? mean 8-limb. It
think it
might.
does.
I don't know. It might. I don't know that. But I can learn things too.
I can too.
I'm learning
and I
all
can
the
also
time.
totally be
No,
wrong.
you're fine. But there is the 8-limb path in yoga, and asana is just one of the limbs. But we often only focus on asana. And this was actually a debate during my philosophy of yoga class back in early 2000s of, is the way that yoga is incorporated in Western society, is it beneficial? And
okay, Ashtanga yoga, not to be confused with Patanjali's Ashtanga yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. So they seem to be a little different.
There
is
is
a
a
style of yoga as exercise popularized by K. Patabi Joyce during the 20th century. So they sound the same, but they're a little different.
Yeah.
But the Ashtanga yoga is the 8 limbs of yoga.
Okay.
Good. Put that down.
Got that cleared
So
up.
we're
No,
both
I'm glad.
right. We're both right.
We're both right.
Nice.
High five.
How often does that happen? It needs to
So
happen
far, 100%.
all the time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
What is your cycle with yoga? When you think of your yoga practice, do you have a cycle there?
I do kind of have a cycle, I guess, and it is dictated by my teaching schedule. And that, I try to practice what I am teaching.
Yeah.
And I don't always get like a full, 75-minute practice in before teaching a 75-minute class.
Right.
But I feel like I am sort of always practicing and kind of, putting things together. And then again, it's not always just the physical practice. I feel like yoga has made me more aware of how yoga is happening all the time. When I can still my mind and be present in the moment, like that's yoga. And so like when I go out in nature and can kind of especially still my mind and just be really aware of different things I'm seeing. I love going to new places, but my kids go to something called Natureversity.
Right.
Which is down at Marymore Seawright Park, for those who know. And it's just a lot of open space to go. There's some trails. There's like some places you can feel like you're exploring, but not really. You're never too far from a trail. But it's great to go there and sort of, I don't know, like notice the changes out there, notice changes like within me, and kind of let the two sort of inform each other, I feel like. So yeah, in those moments, it's like I'm not, doing downward dog, but I'm present and I'm breathing and I'm aware of my breath and I'm aware of what I'm observing and observing out there, observing within. And I think that's yoga.
Yeah. I've started to translate yoga into mindfulness. Like there's somehow synonyms.
Yeah.
It's not just once I get past it's these movements, it's really how present I am. Can I still the mind? Can I, be fully present and realize my optimal self or my true self?
Yeah.
Moment by moment.
Yep. Moment by moment.
And the postures is one pathway or one.
It is a vehicle. It lets you, that's a cycle in itself too. Like coming in, how do you enter into even a child's pose? And how are you present in child's pose? Is it easy to be present? Is your mind scattered? Are you bored?
Yeah.
Are you running through your grocery list,
Yeah.
Or are you just like noticing how the breath is moving? We're like folded in a little bit here, a little more open in the back, a little more compress through the hips and the legs? Like, can I be present with sensations, especially like when I teach yen classes, which I love because it's so counter to what people are normally doing when they're doing yoga. It's like you're sitting with a pose for a while.
Yeah.
And the longer you stay, sensations change and sometimes become louder, sometimes, float through. Your body opens up. You can sink a little deeper into a pose. But it's so counter from how we're normally just sort of flowing through. It's a different type of mindfulness than Ashtanga, right? Where part of our mind can be doing a thing, which I experienced when I was like competitively swimming. I grew up as a competitive swimmer, and I realized I didn't have yoga while I was a swimmer, and I wish I did, but I found yoga after I retired. And then I remember I always felt very clumsy on land, but when I started doing yoga, I was very connected to the breath and I had pretty good body awareness. But then when I went back into the water, I was like, oh, this was a moving meditation the whole time.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And it was really beautiful to be able to go back into swimming and have this like whole fresh perspective with it, where I had gotten sort of, I was just kind of burnt out from it. And it used to mean one thing, and now it kind of means another thing to me. But I think I think that can be achieved in like an Ashtanga practice. And I think it can be achieved equally like in a yen practice where, we can still the body, notice how busy the mind is, do our best to kind of be with that and settle it down and smooth that out a little bit. Yeah. And get into some different places in our bodies as well.
Where open some stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. Unwinding like the fascia of the body and which is the connective tissue. And it used to just be like, I don't know. I go like this because when it's like a fairly new discovery, like probably just, I don't know, from like the 70s, I want to say, is when it first started being like recognized as an important part of our bodies. Fascia. Yeah. It used to just be like, oh, we're doing, surgery, we're doing an autopsy, whatever. We can just like
cut through that. It'll be fine.
Toss it to the side. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Our bodies spent time making.
Yeah, they need that.
Maybe it's important. Oh, it turns out it conducts like all of the like emotional, like energetic energy and information through our whole system.
Whoa.
I know.
That's why
right?
It's important that we are doing trigger point and rolling our body out.
Yeah.
And doing those type of practices.
Absolutely.
Because those are releasing the fascia, right?
Yeah.
And that's body work, like massage is doing that same thing. Yep. It's myofascial release.
Yes. And we're just learning more and more about it. Like I want to say there's even like fascia that's been discovered like in the brain recently.
Brain fascia.
Yeah. So all kinds of interesting things still unfolding.
People talk about how, I've heard this, you know how there's reflexology, like you can get to all the organs in the hands and the feet. In that same vein, yoga instructors or yoga teachers have said like when we're doing a lot of hip openers, it can like map to childhood wounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like emotional things can come up when we're really opening our hips and working into that area.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it and I believe it. I feel like I have had some good releases. Yeah. I remember crying. Like the first time I cried in a yoga class, I was like in child's pose. And the teacher just came and patted my back.
You were crying?
Oh yeah. I cried. And I was like, oh, and I talked to her after and it was like that same thing of like,
you had an emotional response.
I did for sure. Yeah. I mean, I always did on some level, whether it definitely opened me up to more things that were happening internally, emotionally. Yeah, definitely. And well, okay. With the fascia, something interesting, in the yen practice, I'm not like a trained Chinese medical practitioner, not trained, but a student. Like I study. Yeah. And I'm always learning. But what I find fascinating is that these meridian lines, which meridian translates as little river, like a channel of energy.
I've seen those at my acupuncturist. He's got like diagrams of human bodies with a bunch of lines all over them.
Exactly. It runs along the fascia lines.
Oh.
Like, so these connection points that we have now discovered, it actually overlays with these things that have been known about for thousands of years that people just like knew.
Yeah.
People just sat with long enough and figured out, which I find that fascinating.
Like Eastern medicine has known about these for a long time through acupuncture.
Yeah.
And we just needed our science to validate it.
Exactly.
Now we know it's okay.
Now we know. It's real.
Because our science has shown it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep. Something we discarded for a long time.
Yeah.
But like actually, y'all.
But now insurance will cover it.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Your insurance covers it.
I don't know. Good luck with that.
Because I like acupuncture. I've done it. I don't have insurance now, but hopefully I will in the future.
Yeah.
But when I did have it, I would go do acupuncture a bunch. And he even started hooking up electricity to that. And it was like pulsing my body. My meridians were getting like lit up.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Electrical current.
Sometimes he would turn it on before adjusting it and it'd be like popping off. Boop, boop, boop.
Oh,
like, you could turn that down, boss.
Yeah.
Well, not
totally.
boss, I think is like.
Probably didn't call him
remember
that, but.
Name. Probably Doc.
Doc?
Doctor.
Did you call him Doc?
Probably.
That's neat.
What's up, Doc?
I like that.
I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
Another question.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what number we're on.
I'm not keeping track.
Neither am I.
Good.
There's not a tally. Is there a cycle, a regular cycle to a yoga flow?
That's a good question.
Because I've noticed some things. I've noticed that oftentimes there'll be a back bend at the end, like a bridge pose, or they'll be leading us towards Shavasana, or I've noticed they'll be like stretching at the end before the back bend, or we'll do thread the needle, or what's the thing where you put your leg up at the top? Pigeon pose, or figure fours. And then we'll also have some stretching at the beginning, and then in the middle we'll do a lot of more kind of vigorous, or you'll do your like warriors. You get your warrior energy out in the middle. Am I tapping into something? Is this
you're noticing
a practice?
Absolutely.
Of how y'all do it?
Yeah. It is. That's intentional. And for me, it depends on the time of day that a class is. First thing in the morning, I'm not going to just like start with, something really rigorous. I tend to, in general, really warm up and do some foundational stuff before getting into more of like the peak pose, like what you might be describing with like a big back bend, or
is a peak pose like the balancing part of it?
A peak pose is like you could have sort of like just an overall energetic way that you're teaching your class, where maybe you don't have like a peak pose that you're leading up to. But some poses require quite a bit of warm up. Like if you were going to do wheel pose, or if you were going to do a headstand or something, you would need to warm up the body in such a way so that it is flexible enough to reach that posture, so that you're feeling engaged in the right muscle groups and that, to hold a handstand or a headstand. So yeah, there is a lot of intention in kind of building a class, and then being able to release and come back down, and not just send you off after, okay, that big back bend, and then just lay down and rest, and then you're out of here, like there has to be that reintegration and kind of resetting the spine is how I look at it. And but even within that, there are kind of smaller cycles at play, where like I was taught you don't teach like a back bend and then a twist. You always need to go through a forward fold to reset the spine, because that's how we're sitting technically in a forward fold right now. And that's how our spine has to reset, right? Like our, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You got rules. I'm not rules, but you have like.
Well, we have some
guidelines.
Like, for the safety of the body, for
Is there
the
a bunch
safety
of
the
them?
spine. There aren't too many that I'm really aware of. I mean, the way I was taught it is, I pay attention to the time of day, like I said, and, always like move through it's like you should
Yeah.
It depends, right? But it's like there can be two maybe 2 back bends in a row or a twist and a lateral, but then you need to come back through a forward fold to reset the spine and keep everything flowing there, or else just a lot of tension can build.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I agree with it. I've practiced and I've done practices where that hasn't been the case, where maybe some, 2 postures that I'm trying to think right now if like my mind affected.
Yeah, if there was like a
psychosomatic,
unhelpful,
like a response to it. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
would know,
this doesn't
hey, this
feel
isn't
good.
how you do it. And then your body's like, we're going to validate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hurt down there now. We're a team.
Yeah. Totally.
Like that mind-body connection.
No, absolutely. Which could be, but, I can understand, I think. I don't know. I try to honor that because I've practiced it enough times to where,
it's a ritual.
It is a little bit, but there is generally that wave of a class, beginning, middle, end.
Did you write out your classes in your journey as a teacher? Did you ever like write out, I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to do that one? And
I still do.
You still do? Mm-hmm. You write out your classes?
I do. I write them out. I don't always follow it, but I like having my roadmap, just in case we get lost. I'm like, where did I want to go? Yeah, I have it. But then sometimes it's right on point with like what people come in with. And then other times I have to like scrap the whole thing. And I'm like, well, this isn't going to work at all.
Mark out growth and write down cycles.
Totally. Sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah.
There are some classes, like my kids' classes, I don't really plan out.
You improv them.
Yeah, improv them. So there's some things that I do that are, I don't know. I have like my bag of tricks sort of for how we warm up the body. There's a flow to it. There is also a beginning, middle, end that they can expect. I think there's something to be said for people feeling comfortable enough, because yoga is also a very vulnerable space where you are potentially meeting some emotions that maybe you haven't met recently or ever. And so for someone to feel safe in that space in their bodies, like I think there has to be some amount of predictability as well. And the first time you're stepping into something, you never know what you're saying yes to and what you're stepping into. But I do feel like I structure my classes in a similar way. And I have a hard time breaking free of that too often because, I don't know, people come to know what to expect. And I think there's safety and security and, then that gives them an opportunity to be more in their practice.
That continuity and consistency. It's the boundaries.
Yeah,
you give the known boundaries.
Yeah.
Allow people to be free within that structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've thought about what you said about it being a vulnerable and authentic, or a vulnerable and space, an intimate space. And it really is. And the thought I had is like, I stretch my butt all the way out. It is my butt is just as stretched out as it could be. And I'm just like, that's an intimate expression.
Yes.
Not just the butt, though.
True.
My butt's all the way out there. And look around. Everybody's butts are just as stretched out as they could be.
I know. Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll put my arm into a position where, like, if someone came by and stepped on it, I'm devastated.
Yeah.
Destruction.
Yeah.
I'd be no more arm.
No more arm.
Right?
No.
You know the one where you, like,
You're threaded?
Yeah. Or what's another one? There's a couple of them where like my arm is in a vulnerable position. Don't you think? Why are you laughing?
No, that's true. I guess I'm laughing because like when I play the ocean drum during Shavasana sometimes, and I'm like stepping over people, I'm
don't
like,
step
please
on
don't.
the arm.
Please don't.
But Shavasana is probably fine. You know how like,
I don't know.
You know how
like,
when drunk people get into a car wreck, they're always fine because they're loosey-goosey? That's fine.
Oh my gosh.
They're not
that's
always
so
fine.
Funny.
Forget what I just said. But,
oh my gosh.
But like when we're in Shavasana, we're like, oh, jello. You
Maybe.
step on an arm, leg, we're probably like, I didn't even feel it. I'm already dead pose,
But some people might be holding on.
You think they're rigid?
I don't know. Sometimes I think there is that vulnerable space, and like, can I fully? Yeah.
The Tao Te Ching, man. The grass, the flexible grass does not break. It's the
so
rigid branch. The rigid branch breaks where the flexible
one. I talk about that with trees all the time. Like when I'm doing it with kids' classes, especially, will be a mountain, and that's very strong, and then will be a tree, and that's strong in a different way because of its flexibility,
Yeah.
ability to move with the wind. Yeah, it's true.
Big intimacy in that room.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, there have been times where I've set up like in a circle where everyone's mat is at the wall. With the idea of that being, I do that in like my crawlers and toddlers class and in the kids
Where they'll be
classes.
looking at the wall?
No,
we'll
we're
look
all
at each
seeing
other.
each other. Yeah. Which is interesting because you have the wall right there that's always at your back. You're never really like exposed to anything else. I tried that in a yen class once. It didn't bode well. It wasn't terrible. It was just different, and it didn't. I haven't done it since.
I wear regular clothes to yoga. I wear shorts and t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Tank tops. But I also cycle. I ride bikes.
Yes.
And I used to just wear regular clothes cycling. But this group that I cycle with, they were like, hey, man, you need to wear some kit. They call it kit.
Okay,
That's the uniform they wear.
Yeah.
And it's one of the guys, but they know I'm doing this show, and then I'm kind of like tight belt. I'm like not spending any money on anything.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we want you to have this experience. So they brought over one of the guys, Trevor. Thank you, Trevor. Awesome gift. Brought over some of this kit, these like bibs and shirts. And they were all like super tight.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel
Familiar.
almost like a superhero, but I feel kind of like badass. I like put it on. I'm like, yeah, boy, I'm like looking good.
Totally.
I wonder if ladies feel that way in yoga, because ladies come and they're like they have that bike equivalent equipment in yoga.
Yeah. It's true.
Why aren't the guys doing that? Why
I
don't
don't
guys
know.
start to like rock some like full on superhero
cape and everything?
Do you feel like that when you wear those yoga pants and stuff?
It's funny because I transitioned to not wearing tight pants anymore.
Why did you transition? You cycled. This is a part of your cycle.
It's part of my cycle.
But you did wear them before.
I was in them, yes. And
how'd you feel?
I mean, I felt, I did feel like I was putting on a uniform. Like it was like my teaching clothes, and it's still
teaching clothes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is my,
did you feel powerful?
Yoga. Not really. I don't know.
No.
I can't say that I did.
Okay.
But I can respect that.
No, I want to know your experience though.
I guess I just started to feel like too constricted in it.
Oh yeah. Well, it's hugging your body.
It is hugging.
Really
and
big time.
Yeah. So I have started opting for looser pants and yeah.
When did you go into that part of your cycle?
It's fairly new. I don't know, like maybe last summer. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't. Yeah. I'm not.
I think
exactly sure.
Yeah.
Maybe about a year.
I wondered why
Feel
ladies
great about it.
wore those tight pants.
I'm not sure. I think just yoga pants haven't always been like that either.
They haven't?
It's funny. Well, for a long time, it was like a little tighter and then like kind of flared at the bottom. It was very,
like a bell bottom?
A little bit bell bottom. And then they went to like 3/4 length and a little bit open, still kind of flared and open, a little loose. And then somewhere, I couldn't say what year, I'd have to think about it. We're probably like 10 years deep in the tight yoga pant phase. A lot of more people are coming out with like the harem, like the real super baggy. I can't go there.
You don't go there.
But like I appreciate it. I love it every time I see it.
I think I talked to somebody, one of the yogis, that like the tight clothing on ladies brings a different aspect of the practice to men, or to me.
Oh,
because there's that confrontation with sexuality in those rooms.
Yes.
Because you see those shapes and it is engaging.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's exciting. And here I am really with a practice of going inside.
Yeah.
And being with my breath and my movement. And then like, we talked about the butts being fully open and stuff.
Totally.
You catch a glimpse of that, and then it's like I'm out of it, and now I'm in this more mammalian brain, like a sexual place, and it's like, then there's shame.
Yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm like, gosh, can we just help everybody out? But I think maybe it's good for me to be with that stuff.
I think it is. I think that's actually really wise to even be able to notice that like I've been like I go through this whole cycle and I can recognize it. And I think perhaps somewhere like in the recognition of it and even like being able to articulate
I'm
it.
scared to talk about it, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah, I get that.
It's a brave
but like,
space.
That is, yeah. But to be able to be like aware of it, because then I think if you're aware of it, it won't like catch you off guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, I see you. I know that that's happening, but I also know like who I want to be and how I want to feel and like the space I want to be in and the space I want to create. So like I am aware of that and I can like that's the thing. It's not that's not like ignoring it and tucking it away.
We got to fold it in
like,
some way.
Yeah, but you can just like let that. You're like, okay, you're there. Like it can be there or not. But I'm not gonna like hook in and spend my time. Like, I'm not going to pull you up in a chair next to me and we look at the world together.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a purpose here. I'm here doing yoga. This is, you know.
Yeah. That reminds me of a poem. I can't recite it. The Guest House by Rumi, where it talks about like this living is a guest house and we welcome all of our emotions. We don't know like what they might have in store for us. Are you pulling it up?
I am. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Is it The Guest House?
It is by Rumi.
I love reading poems in these things. The Guest House by Rumi. Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Oh, sure. I don't know.
You gave me 2 answers.
Well, you asked 2 questions.
Oh, yeah, I did.
That's funny. Oh, okay. All right. The Guest House.
I answered it.
This being human is a guest house, every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they are a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them all at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whatever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. I love that one.
I love that.
Yeah, I read it in class sometimes. I feel like I could read it every time.
It reminds me of what you resist persists.
Ah, yeah.
And loving what is.
Mm-hmm.
Like
being with what is.
Being with what is.
Yeah.
With some level of acceptance. This is equanimity.
Absolutely. It is. It's this is here, but I don't have to attach onto it. That can be part of me, but not all of me. That's some of this experience, but not all of it.
Not all of it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, maybe the more I can invite it in, it can clear some things out that maybe I wasn't even aware of, you know?
Probably speaks to some shame I have around sexuality in general, in a way that I can't just celebrate the form.
Yeah.
And say, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, that's a beautiful form.
Right.
And it's not necessarily sexual, but
sure,
kind of in the same way a peach is sexual. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, how did geometry do that to us? Just shapes.
Right. I
don't know. It's weird.
It is, but like, yeah. Then maybe if it's like, why can't like that idea of like being able to see, you know, a body shape as a form and appreciate that, if that's like your intention and what you want to get, like the recognition of what is has helped you kind of define that. And then like that can be something to actively work towards. Like you feel that come up, but then maybe, okay, how can I remember I want to like appreciate this as a shape. I want to appreciate this as a peach.
Not as
not as this other thing. Not that, okay, this other thing has shown me what I actually want to see.
You know when I'll know I'm doing that? You know when I'll know I'm doing that?
When?
And because this has happened to me before. I've seen a butt. A clothed butt.
Sure.
In tight clothes.
Yeah.
And I've been like, that's a good butt. And then like the thing goes up and it's like a guy. And I'm like, uh-oh. I like the guy butt.
Yeah.
But I think when I've made it there, I'll be like, that's a good butt. It could go up and I'll be like, I'm still cool with it.
Yeah,
I'm still
totally.
cool with
That's
loving
cool.
that butt.
Uh-huh.
Because it's the shape,
Sure.
not
the desire.
not the desire, not the want
lust,
to like,
not the
that's the
whatever.
efforting. That's like this urge around the shape, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This like drive to procreate or whatever we want to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. But then can I just appreciate something for what it is?
A butt.
And yeah, I think
Or
that can be
whatever.
applied to a lot of things. Not just even like physicality, but like qualities that you appreciate in people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Can I let that live in them and
please.
appreciate that in them without seeing the lack in myself?
That, yeah, for sure. And use that as like, yeah, I appreciate that about them. Maybe how can I introduce more of that in my own life? Like that's a quality I want to cultivate myself. Or, you know, that's a quality I really like hope to have in a friend or something you know, like how do I don't know. Can I appreciate this thing in this other person and it not be like tied to, again, tied to desire, tied to lust. It can just be an appreciation.
Yeah.
And
Like art.
Just like art. Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
You want another question?
Sure.
I just gave it to you.
Yes.
No, that was the question. What question?
I know.
What question do you think we need to answer? What question? What do you think our last question should be?
Oh.
What do you want to say about cycles?
Okay. What do I want to say about cycles?
And yoga and Ashtanga and astrology and naturalism and all the things that
oh my gosh.
you're such a traveler within. You're a journeyer within all these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I can talk about them for a long time. And like we talked about earlier, it's like there are cycles within cycles happening all the time. And one of the things I'm always trying to not bring in too much astrology into just my yin classes. Even though my study of yin and the fact that I get to intentionally teach those classes, prepare for those classes, think about those classes twice a week, it keeps me kind of in that space. And I don't do quite as much with astrology consistently in that way, mostly because I'm like living a lot of astrology right now. My chart is kind of like lit up in a lot of ways.
Really?
And so it's kind of intense to look at all the time and not get like too, I don't know, worried about. That sounds really dramatic, but
yeah.
But there's a lot that's happening and I'm living it and I'm like, okay, I'm vaguely aware that these things are in the future, even, you know, happening right now. And like, okay, I'm aware of that. But when I'm thinking about like seasonally what's happening and with regard to how I teach the yin practice, which Chinese medicine runs through 5 seasons and focuses on different organs that need support in any given season. And then there's elements we can work with and emotions we can work with. And the more that I'm studying these things and I'm seeing correlations with like the zodiac signs that each of like, you know, in spring we have Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and how just how much of like the practice of yin yoga, as I'm teaching it at least, like correlates to these things and they sort of like weave in and out of one another. And anyway, so then I teach like workshops that more intentionally focus on these two things and how they correlate to one another. So I don't know. What do I want to say about cycles? I'm just really, I'm constantly fascinated with, I don't know, like the cycles of our lives, how we are coming to, you know, it's April 1st. Oh, it's my friend's birthday.
It's April Fool's Day.
It totally is.
We didn't fool each other. Or did we?
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's amazing. Which I love. Actually, I thought about that. I'm like, oh, why did I like schedule it for April 1st? It's fine. But I love that you use the Fool card as your
Oh yeah, I
from
do.
Tarot
Yeah,
on your
yeah.
on your thing. I'm like, yeah, that's appropriate. That's
Yeah.
great.
I'm the fool.
Oh, well, yeah.
The fool's journey.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. My friend who is an astrologer, his I think his whole thing, I don't know if he still uses it, is the fool's inclination. I think, is that what he says? Is that his website? The fool's, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
looked it up in a long time. Anyways, his name is David. Okay, cycles. So, okay, we're at April 1st. Like, we could, in theory, like look back at all the April 1sts in our lives and see if there are like reoccurring themes. Like, maybe there are. You know, even as we come into this April 1st and April 1st next year, it's like the sun is relatively at the same place, but everything else is in a different place.
Right.
And we have, you know, it's almost not like a cycle in terms of like beginning, end. It's more like a spiral, right? And that we sort of get the opportunity to come to this similar place and reflect and see, like, again, that past experience, what's happening now, what are my intentions, how does like current circumstance and my intention line up to the next best action for me to take or not take. And I think we're always, whether we're conscious of it or not, are always sort of working through those concepts for ourselves. But when, again, we're really intentionally looking at and considering where we are in space-time reality, kind of what's maybe on the forecast for us according to the stars, maybe how we're feeling in our body, how is the breath moving in this moment, you know, again, just all these cycles within cycles. And it's like the more that I'm opening myself to, I don't know, like incorporate all these different things that I'm interested in and look at all the cycles of nature, right? Because like that's just in its own timing. And it's like how, like the miracle of like how that all functions without any input, you know, it just goes, and how much of that is alive in us as well, because we're technically part of nature. There are some in like indigenous cultures that don't have a separate word for nature because
we are nature. We are definitely part of nature.
A separate word for human, I should say.
Okay.
Separate word for human, because we're not separate of nature.
We're animals.
We are nature.
Yeah, we are
Why are
natures.
we like? How are we? Why would you have a different name for us? You know. But the more I can like be aware of and incorporate all these different parts of myself, you know, I may not be making the absolute best choice for myself in all moments, but like there has been a lot more ease, even when things are challenging, even when, like in January, I had my computer, my backpack was stolen. It had my computer, it had like notebooks that were precious to me, my wallet, like
no way,
all of it, like stolen.
That's like devastation.
Truly, it was really hard. And that day I kept, you know, blaming myself.
Of
and
course.
Why did I, you know,
why did I put that there? Why did I do this?
Totally. And
what am I going to do? Like you're in,
Yeah. And then like my focus started shifting to the person who stole it and like what they must be going through, that became like their only option. And like, I was like, oh, I hope, you know, I do write down, especially like my yen classes where I'm reading poetry and reading things. I had like one of those notebooks was in my backpack, and it's like, oh, maybe they read something, like maybe something meant something to them, you know, and it'll help them. And, you know, I would still like to have like the notebooks back, especially. I know I've relinquished that definitely. But sometimes when I'm driving nearby where I know it was stolen, I'm like, little purple notebook. Like, do I see it? You know,
if you're out there,
tiny purple notebook,
and you have,
I don't know,
Hollie's purple notebook, you can keep the computer.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
She doesn't really care about the wallet.
No, those have been replaced.
There's some like notes in there that she wants back.
I would love it, but
you could send them to me, and I'll get them to her. You could send them to Studio Satya.
Yeah, just tuck it under the
thing.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
I don't know.
What are you going to do with it?
Nothing.
You're not going to do anything with that notebook. You probably threw it away.
Yeah.
Or maybe they dipped into that notebook enlightenment.
Maybe.
And
I mean,
maybe they're
not
like
that,
practicing somewhere and they've like,
yeah, maybe so.
it's transformed their life. That's a good story to tell yourself.
Maybe. Yeah.
That
yeah.
that was a catalyst
Yeah.
for growth and change.
Yeah.
For that
Maybe.
little ne'er-do-well.
That's right. But like, if that had happened a year ago, or I don't know, however long ago, I don't know that I would have handled it as well, or I could have still been, beating myself up or whatever, whatever it is. And so it's not like, recent times have been just super easy and like, oh, I'm just really in alignment with, my choices or whatever. But I do feel like the practice of yoga and this idea of, I don't know, being connected to myself, being connected to like the, I don't know, inner workings of my own community, of extended communities beyond, what I can see and directly interact with. I do believe that everything ripples out, and I feel that amount of connection as well. And sometimes things return. And I feel like that can be a cycle, and it might be returned in, kindness of a stranger, in a serendipitous interaction, and where just, how did this thing line up, and I don't know, just being like paying attention to all of it. And I think the more that I'm incorporating all these parts of myself and like letting that be known also, I feel I don't know. I don't know exactly like everything I'm saying yes to, or how the path is unfolding in front of me exactly, but like I have some clarity in that, like this path right now feels really good. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
I think it does.
Okay.
I think that wraps up our 5 questions.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Cool.